Good morning, I'm Craig DeGrelli. It's Friday, February 28th, 2025, and these are your Unbiased Updates. Key meeting. Ukraine's President Zelenskyy comes to Washington to sit down with President Trump. How mineral rights will be a key topic, and what we've learned about a possible peacekeeping force after the Ukraine-Russia war is over. And the investigation deepens into the death of actor Gene Hackman and his wife in New Mexico. What the Sheriff's Department has ruled out at this point, and what's next.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world, these are today's Unbiased Updates.
As he looks to fulfill a campaign promise to end the war between Russia and Ukraine, President Donald Trump is set to meet with Ukrainian President Zelenskyy at the White House today. The two leaders are to sign a deal that would give the United States access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals, such as graphite, lithium, titanium, and uranium, in exchange for continued support, which the United States has provided since Russia's invasion in 2022. President Trump has described the agreement as a breakthrough deal that would reimburse U.S. taxpayers for billions of dollars of support and help Ukraine rebuild once the war comes to an end. Although the agreement, which is seen as a key step toward ending the three-year war, references the importance of Ukraine's security, it leaves that to a separate aspect, which has not been finalized. President Trump has yet to make any guarantees for Ukraine's security. During a press conference yesterday with British Prime Minister Starmer after their meeting to discuss ending the war in Ukraine, the president said despite European support, Ukraine's demands for the future are not likely to be met.
Europeans want Ukraine to be part of NATO as part of this deal. Are you willing to budge on that at all, or is it a firm?
Well, I could be very nice and say, oh, well, we'll work to it. Look, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And then the other question you ask is about the land. Will you get your land back? Well, they've fought long and hard on the land, and you and I will be discussing that. And we're going to certainly try and get as much as we can back. But on the NATO, it's just not, that's not going to happen. Yeah.
Meantime, Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron, who met with President Trump in Washington earlier this week, have both agreed that if a truce can be reached between Ukraine and Russia, they will send troops from their countries to Ukraine on a peacekeeping mission to try to ensure that fighting does not flare up again. As of now, it's very unlikely American troops would take part in that peacekeeping effort. A federal judge has put a stop to the Trump administration's mass firings of federal probationary employees for now. In his ruling Thursday, U.S. District Judge William Alsup said the firings were likely against the law and ordered the Office of Personnel Management to tell certain federal agencies it had no authority to order the firings of probationary employees, including the Department of Defense. The Trump administration has already fired thousands of probationary government employees. Those are workers who have been on the job for less than a year and have little protection. Government lawyers have agreed OPM has no authority to lay off employees of other agencies, but say OPM only asked agencies to review and determine whether probationary employees were fit for continued employment. This comes as the latest round of federal government layoffs hit the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Straight Arrow News reporter Lauren Taylor has details.
Hundreds of National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration employees are getting a pink slip, according to multiple news agencies. It's a part of President Trump and the Department of Government Efficiency's promise to downsize the federal workforce. NOAA is a federal agency that focuses on climate, weather, oceans, and coastal resources. It provides weather warnings and forecasts and observes changes in the atmosphere, ocean, and land, among other responsibilities. Nearly 900 NOAA employees are being laid off, equal to about 5% of the agency's staff, according to an inside source who spoke to CBS News. One source also said no National Weather Service meteorologists were affected, while another says some were included in the cuts. Someone inside the National Weather Service said probationary employees, those who've been in their roles for a year or less, were let go Thursday. There are between 350 and 375 National Weather employees with that status, but it's unclear how many were impacted, CNN reports. Some of those staffers received an email that stated, OPM has advised that probationary periods are an essential tool for agencies to assess employee performance and manage staffing levels. In light of that guidance, the agency finds that you are not fit for continued employment because your ability, knowledge, and/or skills do not fit the agency's current needs. Earlier this week, the Trump administration told federal agencies to prepare for large-scale layoffs and restructuring. In a memo, Trump administration officials told department officials to submit plans by March 13th on how to consolidate their agencies.
That was Lauren Taylor reporting. The New York Times is reporting several hundred more NOAA staff members are expected to leave today as part of the Trump administration's so-called deferred resignation program. On top of the layoffs, the administration is expected to cancel contracts of workers affiliated with NOAA, which could reduce the agency by as many as 2,500 personnel. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi is demanding the FBI turn over more documents related to the high-profile Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking case, accusing the FBI of withholding thousands of files. She's calling on newly confirmed FBI Director Kash Patel to root them out. In a letter to Patel yesterday, Bondi said the Bureau had reassured her the documents she received were the full package of information. But later, a whistleblower informed her the FBI's New York field office had not handed over a substantial amount of Epstein's information. Now she's demanding the rest by this morning. Bondi had originally promoted a major release of documents this week. But after their release yesterday, the consensus from recipients was disappointment, with those who received the documents saying they did not offer any new information and amounted to Epstein's contact list, but not a client list. Now to the latest on the death of actor Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, in Santa Fe, New Mexico. The county sheriff says while there are no obvious signs of foul play, nothing has been ruled out, calling their deaths suspicious. Wednesday afternoon, a maintenance man doing pest control discovered the couple dead in their home in a gated community. Deputies arrived and found the 95-year-old actor down near the kitchen in what appeared to be a mudroom. According to a search warrant, a cane and sunglasses were near his body. They discovered his wife's body in a bathroom with a space heater nearby. The warrant indicates there was an open prescription bottle on the counter and pills were scattered everywhere. Based on the same search warrant, deputies believed the couple suddenly fell. There were no signs of forced entry and no indication of a struggle, and the sheriff says nothing appeared to be missing from the home. The Santa Fe Fire Department said it did not find any signs of a carbon monoxide leak. Investigators are now waiting for autopsy results as well as toxicology reports. A grassroots organization is calling for a national boycott in the form of an economic blackout today. The group, the People's Union USA, is urging Americans not to shop for 24 hours in response to the recent rollbacks in diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives at several major companies. Straight Arrow News business correspondent Simone Del Rosario has more.
A grassroots movement is calling on Americans not to spend a single dime on Friday.
February 28th, the 24-hour economic blackout. No Amazon, no Walmart. No fast food, no gas, not a single unnecessary dollar spent. But let's be real. They don't need us. They use us. And for one day, we are going to finally turn the tables.
John Schwartz is behind the latest economic boycott and founded the People's Union USA. The organization claims to be a movement of people unionizing to take back control of our economy, government, and future of our country. The website says Friday's economic blackout is its first action. As of Thursday morning, Schwartz and the People's Union raised more than $70,000 on a GoFundMe. The People's Union claims the 24-hour boycott will show retailers who really holds the power.
For our entire lives, they have told us we have no choice, that this is just how things are, that we have to accept these insane prices, the corporate greed, the billionaire tax breaks, all while we struggle just to get by.
Inflation continues to affect Americans in 2025. Consumer prices are up 3% on the year, while the cost of staples like eggs continue to soar. Wages marginally outpaced prices in 2024, up 3.7% for the year. Meanwhile, shareholders had a great year. The S&P 500 climbed 23%, while the Nasdaq jumped more than 28%. An Economist YouGov poll taken earlier this week found inflation and prices remain the top issue for 23% of respondents, followed by jobs and the economy at 12%. Meanwhile, consumer confidence slumped in February, according to the Conference Board. The 7-point decline is the largest monthly decline since August 2021 and marks an 8-month low. The People's Union claims disrupting the economy for a single day will send a powerful message. But in the same breath, they say the intended targets won't listen. The website reads, "If they don't listen, they won't. We will make the next blackout longer. We will."
The boycott is meant to coincide with protests against President Donald Trump's plans to reduce the government workforce and mass firings at federal agencies. Simone spoke with a marketing professor on the possible impacts of the boycott. You can find her full report on that economic boycott right now at our website, san.com. Finally this morning, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' space company, Blue Origin, is sending an all-female crew into space for the first time in more than 60 years. Straight Arrow News lifestyle correspondent Kennedy Felton has details on the famous women who will be on board.
What do a pop star, a renowned journalist, a tech billionaire's fiance, and a pioneering aerospace engineer all have in common? They're about to make history aboard Blue Origin's upcoming all-female flight to space. This spring, Katy Perry, Gayle King, and Aisha Bowe will lift off aboard Blue Origin's fully autonomous Shepard rocket. They'll be joined by Blue Origin owner and Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' fiance, Lauren Sanchez, as well as research scientist Amanda Wynn and film producer Carrie Ann Flynn. In a 2023 Wall Street Journal interview, Sanchez, who is also a helicopter pilot and former TV journalist, first revealed her excitement about leading an all-female space mission, a dream now becoming a reality, saying it's going to be women who are making a difference in the world and who are impactful and have a message to send. What better person to bring than a close friend? Sanchez and Perry have been spotted on multiple occasions, including vacations and celebrations. Last year, Bezos and Sanchez even attended Perry's 40th birthday party. Thursday, Perry wrote in an Instagram post she hopes to show all of the youngest and most vulnerable among us to reach for the stars, literally and figuratively.
I'm very, very, very scared.
And Gayle King announced her place on the mission Thursday morning, not holding back about her fears. She says she's afraid of roller coasters and flying, but she's pushing herself out of her comfort zone for this once-in-a-lifetime experience. For Aisha Bowe, this journey has been years in the making. The former NASA rocket scientist has known about her spot on the crew since 2023, and now she's preparing for her first ever trip to space. This all-woman Blue Origin space flight is scheduled to take off this spring, making it the first all-woman crewed mission since 1963. The journey may only last 11 minutes, but the impact they hope to make on future generations is limitless.
That was Kennedy Felton reporting. The mission will be the 11th human flight for Blue Origin's new Shepard program and its 31st in its history. Maybe they can play some Katy Perry music on the way up, like Baby, You're a Firework. Those are your unbiased updates for this Friday. We'll see you back here on Monday. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a great day.